Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to call to order the meeting of the Town Center Committee on February the 18th, Friday, at the Matthew Thornton Room in the Merrimack Town Hall. The committee is agended here, and we have one person who cannot make it. Matt Chevenel has some other problem. He can't make it today, but we're nearly complete here. We're missing
Bill Wilkes. Bill
okay.
Wilkes.
Bill Wilkes.
Bill Wilkes.
Oh, Bill Wilkes, yeah. Well, I expect he'll be along. The agenda has been published and sent to everyone, and I hope people brought their own copy, because I didn't make enough copies for everybody. I've got a couple extras if we need them. The minute taker, if someone would like to take the minutes, I see heads shaking. No, I'll take the minutes. Once again,
If I take minutes,
And,
I can't be part of the meeting if I take minutes. It doesn't work that way.
I
for
know,
me.
I know. It's hard to conduct a meeting and take minutes too. Anyway, our first order of business today is approval of minutes of January 14th, which I drafted up and sent to everyone.
I make a
And-
motion to approve the minutes of January 14th.
I second.
Okay, Bill Cummings moves and Karen seconds. Any discussion of this? Any suggested changes, improvements, deletions? Anybody, nobody's feelings got hurt? Then I will call for the question. All those in favor of approving the minutes as written?
Yes.
All in favor, and any opposed or abstaining? None. So it's 367-700. Thank you. Our agenda calls our next old business discussion was status of plans for the winter carnival. I wanted to get that on first and see what we want to do about that. Some changes in the weather here have kind of put a kibosh, well, apparently a kibosh. They're gonna go ahead as far as I know, and if I hear otherwise, I will let you know. But I did talk with Matt, and this was before we lost all the snow. There's practically no snow at Wasserman Park.
Yeah.
And there won't be any sledding, or I don't know if it'll be cold enough for an ice sculpture even. They can probably get away with that. But it's supposed to be a windy, cold day on, well, we don't know yet. I'm sorry, I'm a week off. I'm talking about this week. We still don't know what the weather will be like next week. So I'll ask you, first of all, if we all want to go ahead with this. It's kind of, we talked last time about having some people, we can't go indoors, that's another rule, so everybody's got to be there outdoors. It goes from noon till 3, so which is the best part of the day as far as that goes. They will have ice sculptures. I don't know that they know yet what exactly they'll be, and I can send out a message on that. But how does the committee feel? I took a look at this handout, and it was suggested that we update it maybe. When I got into that, I got into the map, and I realized the map is quite a bit out of date because some things have been accomplished on this map. This is the NRPC's map, so I'd have to go back to them to get them to change it. And if we change it now, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do that several more times before we get done here. And what's the committee's thoughts and feelings about the map and about the handout? And I was going to suggest we just go ahead with this for now, even though it says 2017 on it. But it might take them it might get it done in a week. We might be able to indicate those things, those sidewalks on the map that have been accomplished since the map was completed. which was 2017.
Right.
What's your thinking on that?
I don't know if we'll have it updated in time. You would know that better than me, but if we didn't, we could utilize those, and eventually they should be updated regardless. If, yeah, I think.
You'd like to see them updated?
I think so, but that's just me.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Should we?
Well, I think it's fine to pass out the old ones at the Winter Carnival. I mean, how many more do you have left?
Oh, I've got a stack like that.
Oh, okay.
And I've got plenty of them without reproducing them further.
Because it
Okay,
gives
so-
a general idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of what the committee's involved in.
yeah.
Are you proposing just to update the map, Nelson, or make changes to the map?
Well,
Because I guess my question is, for if you change projects or add different priorities, does the council have to weigh in on that?
no, we've put these priorities were put in here by the NRPC. The priorities that are on here are the priorities that the NRPC put on it. And we can advertise them as such. This is what the priority was when they made the map. In one through 7, I think they've got. So, I would just, the things that needed changing were, let's see, well, we've just done a few of the things. So I'd just take them off of the high prior, or we could leave them as priorities, or,
Maybe just update it and change the date to 2022,
yeah.
and then the projects that have been completed on that back page, just write that, completed.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll
It
show
could
the
lead-
successes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll just mark them complete, but leave them on here so people know. The part of the map, affecting the map, which is more difficult, which has to go to NRPC, in those cases, we had different color codes for ones that were completed, and
Right.
they would take some work, and we'd have to have a new color maybe to introduce that. But, so what I think I hear is for the Winter Carnival this year anyway, we'll put this one out and we'll make some changes and I'll bring them in, and I'll talk to NRPC and see how difficult it is to make changes to this, to the map. We can change the text part of this on our own, because we made that page.
If we're gonna continue to use those, eventually they should be updated regardless.
Yeah, probably so. I think that's a good idea, and there's no point in giving out stuff that's 5 years old and counting. And hopefully we'll have more progress in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I'll just have to get back to you. As far as the Winter Carnival is concerned, you still want to cover it with some walk-arounds and handouts and things. That's on week from Saturday, noon to 3. Okay. All right, the next thing on the old business agenda was the results of the January 20th meeting with the town manager. At the last meeting we had, I said that I had asked for and gotten a meeting with the town manager and with Kyle and Dawn Twamala to talk about where we go from here kind of thing, since the town has decided, directly or indirectly, not to put anything more on the agendas for the town meeting for next year. So there is no new projects being added among the, we had 2 years ago, we had voted and the town council had agreed that they would put in a small amount of money, 200,000 was a round number, every year to continue to add to our sidewalk inventory. And what I get from this meeting with the town council is that that's kind of overtaken by events, as they say, and they do not intend to put anything more on for now. So Finley,
Right.
I'm gonna ask your help here, because this is kind of a all systems stop until we,
Right, well,
you know,
for this year, it was paused for sure. We have huge things. It's, the focus generally is in seeing what the town needs, what we'd like to do for the town, needs and desires or whatever. We're getting impacted with some pretty large things happening in the next few years, I'm envisioning. But this year, there's a project that went before the zoning board, and the zoning board, to my dismay, approved a much more dense project on Twin Bridge Road. So as it goes through the planning process, I'm imagining that things like sidewalk requirements and so on will be addressed, because they're stuffing, let me see if I can recall, 48 units where 24 units were already allowed, and apartment units. So it's on two parcels of land that aren't very large. They work in concert with the Commons and London Court and all that. It's all gonna be workforce housing. 100% of it, which is normally not the case. Normally it's broken out. I don't know what the percentages are, but it's normally a mix, and this is just, it's all workforce housing. So that's why for this year, if that goes through the process, I don't know what the planning board will do, but I'm imagining that sidewalks will be a part of that, and that's what we're waiting to see. And then, we will have further discussions next year's budget timeframe and so on, but that's where kind of it stands right now.
well,
So-
my answer to that, of course, would be that we don't have to do that one this year. We could do another one. There is 7 or 8 different projects here that we could entertain in addition. And there was a reason given, a sort of a reason, why we couldn't do any of them either, because we don't know this and we don't know that, and maybe this will happen. And so,
But for me, a large concern is last year, I guess predominantly because of COVID and everything, there were like $8 million returned to offset taxes by the school district. This year, that won't be happening, and so that's going to be a huge impact on the property, potentially a huge impact on the property tax rate, and so I am concerned about that. I really, I don't want sticker shock to happen to the to the townspeople, and so we've run a pretty relatively lean budgets for a number of years now, and those things, the increase of the fire service personnel in the fire department, we're staffing to 11 all the time now. It's not, it's a big jump, and while that's covered by a grant for the next 3 years, that grant will disappear, and that loss of revenue will be made up in the property taxes. And so there's just a lot of balancing that's unfortunately going on, trying to keep that as tame as possible.
So
It's
I
a terrible
had a
excuse, but that's.
question about that development you were talking about. The developer doesn't pay for the sidewalks themselves, or?
Well, the planning board will put, requirements and so on the plans, and that's like, I'm thinking that's probably part of knowing how the planning board will look at those type of things. So if the planning board requires it, as part of the approval, then it will be sidewalks, but I don't know, I'm just thinking how historically it's been.
well, historically, we've had difficulty getting improvements off-site on a development. And this particular development you're talking about is on the wrong side of the road. One. Number two, it doesn't reach from where we wanted to go to where we want to be.
Sure.
So it's I can't speak for the planning board, what they'll do, but I can say that this would be a first if we,
Well, we did cause upgrades, Blood Road, we had major improvements to Blood Road by the developer in order to put all those homes in. That was a huge project, of course, or is a huge project. And so like you, I don't know, you would have a better idea than what the planning board might do than I do, but I'm hoping that those things will be addressed, because again, that's a large number of housing units in a small area. And so I'm just, I don't know what improvements will be required, but I could imagine that being potentially one of them.
that's nice to think about, yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'm kind of at a stalemate as to where we are or where we're going to go. That was the outcome of the meeting with the town manager, is that basically there's nothing to look forward to from the town for a while. That's my
Right, but-
takeaway, yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
That is true. I'm hoping that as improvements continue on the Route 3/4 up here at Wire Road, which, is that 24, 25, Kyle, do you recall?
Do you want me to speak to that now, or when we get to it on the agenda?
Oh, yeah, we can, wait till we get to
Oh,
it.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just thinking out loud that will be a continuation
I
of
have
our
some
area that we're
Breaking
counting
news
on.
on that, so.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll surely wait.
Which project was it you referred to?
Well, I'm imagining the sidewalk project heading north from the library when we deal with the intersection of Wire Road and so on, those type of things will accommodate some of those sidewalks that we're looking for. And so,
Oh, that, yeah.
while there's
That's, yeah.
not specific money right now delineated in the budget, I'm thinking things will happen, but
Okay, well, among those things would be addressing the issue with Church Street, which we still don't have any indication from the council that they're gonna go ahead with that.
I mean, that has to be dealt with eventually, and again, I'm envisioning that happening during that segment of work, because it's such close proximity and everything, that's where I was hoping it would be happening.
Yeah. Well, we all hope.
Didn't have my mic on, I apologize. Yes, we hope.
We all hope. Okay, anybody want to say anything more about this? That's the result of my meeting with the town manager.
Did he bring coffee?
What?
Did he bring coffee?
Green coffee? No,
Sorry.
no. No coffee. No. The next old item is the status of the Sahegan River Trail. And Kyle, I'm gonna ask your help with that. We did get some good news. I did send out these plaques that they designed, very nice. Not part of the project as far as I'm concerned, but that's where some of our money went. But that's okay, they're nice. Kyle,
Right.
fill us in.
Thank you, Nelson. For once, I do have some actually decent news on the project. I think I mentioned last meeting that we have a new project manager for some of our DOT projects, and he's been really great. I can't say anything else about him. I've got more news to share when we get to that agenda item about the bridge project as well. As far as the River Trail project goes, we did finally, after 2-3 years, get state Division of Historical Resources sign off on our 106 environmental requirements, which were no requirements. After all of that. We did, as Nelson pointed out, we did make a commitment to doing the 3 sign plaques to commemorate the past uses of the sluiceway and the power canal. And our historian that developed those, I mean, they're fantastic. I can't wait to get that constructed and have people walk the trail and see those signboards. they're really stunning, and great information, great pictures. So that's all good news. Where we are now, the consultant is now moving into the NEPA process, which is the National Environmental Protection Act, which is kind of the federal equivalent of what we spent the last 2+ years working with the state historical folks. But it's also the, fish, wildlife, all those kind of things, all of the environmental impacts that the project may have, to get our federal sign off on that, because it is federal funding. I don't anticipate that part of the project being as difficult as it was with the state folks. It's just a matter of doing the work, and the consultant is working on that now. We're still targeting an advertisement date of this late 2022, with construction in spring of '23. So looks like we're on target for that.
That is good news. I did send these around to everybody, and I hope you got them or remember them, but it is nice looking stuff. It wasn't in our original plan for the trail, but okay, if that's what's gotta be, it's gotta be. So, that's okay. Kyle, I hope that one thing has not been forgotten, and that is the bronze plaque that was given to us by the Pennachuck as part of their contribution to this. There's a bronze plaque that was stored for a while in the town manager's office, in which you picked up one day, and you.
Yeah, it's still in the town manager's office. Yep.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, all right, I hope so. And we've got to have a place for that along this trail somewhere too.
Yeah, we can certainly figure that out.
Yeah,
It'll probably be kind of a separate piece to the project that
Yeah.
we'll just do on our own, so it doesn't get complicated by state and federal regulations.
Yeah.
But we'll find an appropriate spot for it
Yeah,
with the committee's recommendation, of course.
okay, well, we'll be looking forward to that. The other thing is, the committee made some recommendations back when, and when we had a draft of the design. They're just a sketchy type design, but it showed the trail and where it was going to go. And at that time, we made a couple of recommendations, one of which was to connect the trail to the fire station. And there was another one, I forgot what it is, but we never heard anything back on that. And I wondered if that's gone through the cracks, or if that's still in the plan, or.
Yep, no, so it has not fallen to the wayside. The fire department is desirous of that connection as well, so that they
Yes.
could get down to the river for an
Yep.
emergency.
Yeah,
Where the consultant is trying to design that into the project. It's
Yeah.
difficult because of that slope up. And that's one thing that our new project manager is kind of working on with our consultant,
yeah,
is to develop different ideas for that retaining wall that are less in scale,
yeah,
and more appropriate for the area, and try to accommodate that pathway
yeah.
to the fire department. So it is being actively
Okay.
designed.
That's good,
Yeah.
I think.
I
that's
can't
it.
tell you today where or what it's gonna look like.
But it hasn't been forgotten.
It has
I guess
not.
That's
Absolutely.
all I wanted to be sure that
Yep.
it was still going. Okay. Any questions or comments from the board on that, from the committee on that? Guess not. Maybe, yeah. The status of the TCC Facebook. Bill gave us a report last time that it
Yeah.
was being actively used, and any changes there, Nick, or?
No, I was looking at Bill's comments in the meeting minutes, and what he said is very accurate. We launched the page a year ago. this January. It's been a year.
Wow.
Yep. And right at launch, we had 164 followers. We got 164 followers like the first couple weeks, so real quick. And since then, we've nearly tripled that. So we're up to 473 followers to the page. And although we haven't been posting a ton of content, we haven't really lost anyone. We've lost a total of 2 followers since
Yeah.
we've launched the page.
Yeah.
So people are following the page. They want to stay engaged and stay interested. So they're sticking around, which is a good thing. Coincidentally, we launched the Town of Merrimack's Facebook page in this past January. I'm an admin at that page, along with the DPW, Merrimack TV, Parks and Rec, Police Department. Most of the municipal departments that have a Facebook presence have made me an administrator, so it's interesting to see the numbers between the different pages, but then also we're able to cross-post as well, so I see more of that happening in the future, especially having the town page as kind of a hub for all that information. Like this afternoon, just shared something from Parks and Rec about the Winter Carnival, so I can share the same kind of content amongst those pages, so everyone's seeing it, and maybe someone who follows the town center page but doesn't know there's a Parks and Rec page. We'll see that post cross-posted, and I think rising tide raises all ships. I think we're going to start seeing all the different town pages numbers go up because of that, because we're sharing content now.
Good.
So yeah, it's really good. You don't want to lose people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the fact that we tripled the numbers from the first couple weeks is really great as well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where we're at. And if anyone from the committee, or if the committee has any sort of decision or direction on the types of things that you'd like to see posted to that page, please just send me an email and we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So that can lead right into the town center video if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So, really just gonna wait till the weather continues to warm up here to shoot more footage. I have a better idea of exactly, what the town center is, but one of the things I'd just like a little bit of direction on is this sort of objectives that you want to see from the video, so we can figure out, what kind of story we want to tell about the town center.
Yeah.
That's something I'm kind of struggling with. I wasn't at the last meeting. My apologies, but I was out ill. So really, that's, if I could get any sort of idea. I mean, I had some notes of just, generally creating awareness of the location and, the committee's role. But really, I guess I'd like to know what the committee would like to, just the overall story to be told, with the town center. Do you want it to be an emphasis on the recreational side of things, and the different, linking the different parts of the town center together? Is that the emphasis for the video? Or is it just all encompassing?
What do you say, folks? Where should we put the emphasis?
I'm not that creative. I don't even know where to begin. I'm thinking maybe the recreation component of it is, it fits in with all of the trail work and those type of things, and the venturing off in the different paths, if you will.
Recreation should kind of be number one, right?
I'm
That
kind
should
of
be the
thinking,
priority.
I kind of think so myself.
I'd be okay with that, but what do you think?
Well, I think overarching of that is defining the town center first,
Mhm.
and then kind of
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah.
projects and
Yeah,
the connectivity
Yeah.
within that.
yeah,
So maybe the recreational side of it and the connectivity between recreational use and then accessing the business along Route 3?
yeah. I'd bring the business into it. I think that's important, from tractor to supply to, Rite Aid, you know,
Okay.
the business that's in there.
And I think emphasizing the connectivity to the non-town center parts. Like the big selling point for the River Trail project is it connects the town center
Mm-hmm.
to the business district, of course, Watson Park, Town Hall, schools, but it also connects across the river and across and under the turnpike to through 80 Acres, Wildcat Falls Conservation Area, to those neighborhoods. It also connects to West Chamberlain Road, to those neighborhoods over by Turkey Hill Road. So it really is connecting the town to the town
So-
center.
Maybe the connectivity and the possibilities with that. Meaning, maybe we show, you know, almost like in use, like what would be a typical, you know, couple hours spent in the town center. And show a trail being used and how you could walk from this one trail. You could park in this one area, take advantage of these trails, whether by bike or by foot, and walk to patron businesses. Maybe that sort of thing.
I'm generally not that great of a guy, but a thought that just jumped into my head is, you know, maybe you do a tie-in to, we've got that nice stone plaque out front that says 4 villages, 1 town. You know, we've really got 4 quadrants of the town separated by the turnpike and Sahegan River. And town center connectivity really connects 4 segments of the town geographically together. Maybe you could do some sort of tie-in that way, I don't know.
Kyle just volunteered to.
No, sir. That is not my strength.
But I think to show in a video, you know, those possibilities of how it truly connects one section of the town to the other, and to show people just how these recreational areas can be used. I know that, you know, last summer or the summer before, a lot of people were using Watson Park quite a bit, and the trails over here, but you know, or Wildcat Falls, but just to show, I think showing them being used and those possibilities, I think, are important then, right? Connectivity.
Because the recreation areas within it, you've got Watson Park, Abbey Griffin, Twin Bridge Park, all with things that could be happening. And that's right in the concentrate, right in the center there.
When you have the new sidewalks from the high school to Daniel Webster, you know, kids are using that, right? And maybe you could show them, go out there, film some of the kids walking around.
Yep. That's definitely one of the reasons why I just want to wait for the weather to get warmer, because the same thing with the video on Woodbury Street, you know, that was mentioned at the last meeting as well, updating the Woodbury Street video. Justin got footage when you had visited after your last meeting, and we want to kind of show that complete project, because we showed as it was getting started. But I think because of all these recreational areas, we just want to show a video without it being used.
No, that's right.
So we
Yeah.
want to show
Yeah.
foot traffic and
Yeah.
people using the, you know, these areas. And if I have to find some folks to volunteer to be on camera, you know, doing those things, and that's important too. So I think connectivity and maybe the idea of, you know, connecting you to the town center.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Well, Kyle's gonna help me with this. Kyle's gonna help me finish this, and because he volunteered today, he's great.
Support you anyway.
The guy who was most interested in this and who was assigned to do it is Bill Wilkes, and he's not here today. But I think
So there's the
So he's
volunteer.
volunteered
there's-
as well.
If you're not
yeah.
here, you can
I think
volunteer.
we could make him the volunteer.
We'll get Bill
Don't make eye
involved.
contact either.
Exactly.
You're here, you just look down, don't look at Nick.
He just took the lead.
We're wrapping up. Well, we have one more hockey game, and then we're wrapping up our winter sports. And you know, there's not a whole lot that we can do with spring sports coverage. So once the weather's warmer and people are outside, and I'm gonna try to rope some people into actually being on the video. I think maybe that's the way to go, is, you know, with the recreational parts in mind, maybe just, you know, connecting you to your town center,
Yeah,
and
Perfect.
emphasize on that connectivity,
yeah.
between
That's
the
great.
different villages. Maybe that's it, connecting you
That's
to your
good. You
town
should be
center.
in advertising. That's good.
Yeah,
You should get a media job, maybe.
I should.
Comes in here just humoring us. He knew all along.
He had this, yeah.
I know, I couldn't
He
do
had
it.
it, yeah.
Well, it's fun to think out loud with everyone, and
Sure.
Yeah.
that's a big help,
Good.
big help. So,
And we gotta get the ice off, the new sidewalk.
Done.
Yeah. I get calls, of course.
No, go look at it now.
It's perfect.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
after
clean.
the past couple days, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
the ice storms that we've got this year
They're
have
brutal.
wreaked havoc on the sidewalks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't get it off.
Right.
no.
You
No.
know,
But
It's so cold.
fortunately, Mother Nature is, while it's doing a good job of cleaning off sidewalks, it's doing an equally good job of creating potholes, but
Yeah. I won't go there.
Back River Road has some
Like, we were
fun.
at Turkey
They
Hill, I went
hurt.
flying down there,
Yeah.
30 miles an hour. And, you know, it said, watch out for the potholes, and then they were working on it pretty quick this morning.
yeah.
It was a disaster. And,
Yeah.
it's been a disaster though for a while. That's not for us though, but,
Right.
so, yeah, Wilson Hill Road.
Back River, they're spreading.
It's
Oh,
growing.
yeah, they spread. And they
Oh.
spread within a day, they spread. It's amazing how they,
I'm just seeing dollar signs, that's all
Yeah,
I'm seeing.
yeah.
yeah.
Watching the pavement
I'm
collapse
just
and
trying to
money go away.
keep it from, I've got these aluminum wheel rims that when you whack them, they bend the wheel
Yep.
rims.
Mhm.
You know, it actually does damage to the car if you hit
Yeah,
them.
and they're not cheap to replace.
No, they're not. They're $600 a piece, I can tell you.
You drive too fast, Nelson.
It doesn't take much.
Does it? No.
No, it doesn't take.
Well, we'll leave that for Kyle to work out this afternoon's meeting. And we still have a little bit of status on the, oh yeah, what's the status of the Babusic Brook Bridge, Kyle? We can
Sure
help us
thing.
out
So,
there.
so I have quite a bit of news here, actually. And it does tie into the Wire Road project that Finley asked about.
Yeah,
So in the current 10-year plan, the bridge project is scheduled for construction in 2025, Wire Road in 2027. Some of you may recall, I spoke at the Gasset hearings 2.5 years ago, which is the hearings that take public comment in relation to the creation of the 10-year plan, and noted that it would make sense financially to combine the two projects. And for whatever reason, it didn't gain any traction at that time. But our new project manager, in looking at costs of the bridge project, and there's certainly some overlap of the bridge project into the Wire Road area, just because of the geometry of the roads and the proximity. He's actually actively talking to his higher ups at DOT, and it looks like he may in fact be able to combine the two projects to get them both done, maybe in 2025.
I was gonna say, when?
No, sooner.
When they
Yeah.
combine them, all it's gonna be.
No, sooner.
2030, yeah.
And I had stated that when I spoke to him last week about it,
Yeah,
that given that the bridge is a red list bridge,
right.
it's an important crossing for us,
Mhm.
that we didn't want to delay that project.
Yeah,
And he understood that. And part of where we're getting some favorability on this, you'll recall last month when we spoke, we were still trying to figure out that $2 million gap in funding for
Yeah.
the project. And we had done that research into the FEMA grant and didn't really come up favorable for us. Fortunately, the federal transportation bill that just got approved has a lot of bridge money in it. And the state has already made the commitment to give us $2 million of IIJA money. Sorry. To bridge that budget deficit. So the project is now fully funded.
Yeah.
Working with the discussions I've had with the project manager, Tony, he thinks by combining the two projects, because of course, stepping back, the estimate for the Wire Road project is probably short because it was created a number of years ago. It never had inflationary numbers in it. So that project is again probably short of funding. But Tony's confident by combining the two projects, and instead of constructing the bridge project in '25, which will go into Wire Road a little bit, and then tearing all that back up in 2027,
Yeah.
do it all at once,
Mhm.
that the existing bridge funding and the existing Wire Road funding will cover both projects.
All right.
So that's the route it looks like it's going.
Yeah.
Nothing has been signed or sealed yet, but significant progress anyway.
That is.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you happen to watch Sununu's State of the State message this
A
week.
little bit.
Huh? Well, he made some comments that your property taxes are gonna go down this year because we've got all of this money coming in, and you make sure you talk to your representatives and make sure your town gets its share. That was a big part of his pitch. Fortunately, his pitch got, right when he was making this pitch, some guy in the back had an episode of some kind of, so the whole meeting got busted up. But he was telling us that he was telling everybody there, the towns should get more money. Your taxes will go down this year because of the good work, of course, he's done. But, but I just was amused by that because
I'm waiting to
It's
see.
not-
waiting to see.
It'll be wonderful.
Anyway, you might tell that to your colleagues, Finley, that are worried about the taxes, that, we've got, help is on the way.
I will tell them that. I know they're always looking for those kind of funds.
Yeah, Yeah.
All departments are always try to do that.
yeah. Well,
Try and get some of
Kyle's
them.
right there at the
He's a pro.
doorstep with his bowl.
Yeah.
More, please.
He's a pro at getting funds. We've got a lot of bridge work done because of those things that Kyle and the team have put together.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. Well, that is all good news, Kyle. I don't know that we said anything about the footbridge, and that's, any changes there?
Yeah, no changes on that one.
Yeah.
It's in the draft 10-year plan for the back end of the draft
Yeah.
10-year plan, which is 2032.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to new business, unless somebody has more they'd like to talk about here. We talked about updating this handout, and I think I got the instructions on that, and I'll get back to you on the status. The letter, I wrote a letter to the town council following the meeting that I had with the town manager, and that was written on January 24th, and I did copy, actually, it was written to Paul McKaylee summarizing what came out of that meeting. There was, I think we've talked about most of these items now, but,
That, I did, there was a read file in the council chambers.
yeah,
The read file, because of email and everything, it's not frequented regularly anyhow by some members. So I think that it's in that read file. And so
Is there a better way to communicate with
Well,
them than
may,
writing letters?
maybe the letter with copies going around, I don't know, because I go in there truthfully about once every 2 weeks, because it's
Yeah,
something that, it was so important prior to, people being fully involved with email in the nineties.
Yeah.
That thing would be, you'd have to go in there a couple, 3 times a week.
yeah,
But now it's just, everything comes into your, email box, that it just, that I think it's kind of forgotten by some people.
yeah.
Because your initial officer, you can see, okay, nobody's been here for 2 months, and it's, and so it might be the thing, Nelson, after you and I chatted last month. or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
I did,
So what I think you're saying, Finley, is that it's better to communicate with them by email than it is by letter.
probably, unless you were to do a letter to each individual, because again, the refile, it's sparse.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of Comcast updates. They are supposed to notify the town when any changes happen,
Yeah.
increases in price, cutting of services, or those type of things. And
Yeah,
those are in there. Rules making changes and things, that's in there. And it's, otherwise, if it's a sign file, we have a sign file that,
yeah,
the majority of people have to sign off on it. Those things will be in another folder. And those get frequented more often, but the refile is very thin, not a lot of change from week to week in it. So I think that's why it's forgotten.
okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad to know there's a better way that will get into their heads a little more often.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to correspond like you did with that letter to Paul, to the town manager,
Yeah,
and copy everybody, that would probably be a good idea.
okay, well, I did copy everybody on this letter.
And I mean, of course, I'd seen the letter, so I couldn't remember in my
Yeah,
head
yeah.
that you had done that
Yeah, I
specifically.
did copy everybody I copied the town center committee, the town council.
Did that go to them in an email, or, because we didn't get copies of those letters. I mean, I saw it, I think it was probably your draft that I had seen anyhow. I knew what it was
Yeah,
in there, but I saw
Yeah.
the hard copy in the read file after we spoke last month.
yeah. Okay, well, this said, it was addressed to Paul McKaylee, and the carbon copied to Kyle and Dawn, to the town council, and to the town center committee. So the latter should have gotten hard copies, but maybe,
Yep, I don't recall getting a hard copy in
Yeah.
my box.
okay, let me talk to Becky about that and see.
Yeah, because it was definitely in the read file. It's definitely there, still there right now.
Yeah,
Um,
but if they don't read the read file, that doesn't
Right, kind of,
get the point
yeah.
across, yeah. Okay, thank you for that. I think I will make a note to see if we can do something there. And the taping for the video, for the media center.
I think that was relative to the Become Involved series that
Yeah.
Nancy Harrington and the town
Yep.
council
Yes,
is
that's
leading.
right.
So Finley taped his episode with our own
yeah,
Nelson Disco just a couple weeks ago. And as I said before the meeting started, Finley was rock star, nailed everything in pretty much one take, despite him saying that
it's
he
terrible.
doesn't like to do it.
We should be expecting our royalty soon, Nelson.
okay.
It was great. It was very smooth, and he mentioned everybody. We got everybody's name in. The only edit we had to make is we forgot one or two people.
Yeah, we had to go back and do that.
We won't
Yeah.
say who those people were.
It was Nick's fault, right?
You won't. It was totally my fault. But you'll quick editing, very smooth. You won't even notice that. But no,
Okay.
everybody was mentioned by name for their work and involvement in the town center committee. And we're hoping to
Yeah.
wrap those, the other
Yeah.
episodes of this series soon enough, and you'll be able to see all of
Yeah.
them.
Maybe I can see Karen looking confused, and I'm not surprised, because this is something that came up since our last meeting, was that the town council, in their wisdom, decided to have a session, a videotaped session with each of the town committee chairs and their corresponding council member, talking to them about their committee and their work. And they're going to make a series of these. So I did the series for us. Who says, is it what,
Yeah.
10-minute?
It's an educational series, where each of the town councilors, depending on who their liaison to the various boards and committees, so each town councilor has a responsibility to each of these committees, like that's why Finley's here, is the town council representative. So each of the town councilors are interviewing or having a conversation with the chairperson of each board and committee. And the goal is basically just to educate residents on what these various boards and committees do, how they interact with the town council, and how folks like yourself can become involved. For a moment there, and maybe it's still the case, particularly planning board, zoning board, have a shortage of members. Am I wrong about that?
Planning board's not sure.
Two alternates, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Try-
but I understand they have two candidates,
They were
too.
doing interviews tomorrow.
Yeah, so.
Not tomorrow, Tuesday.
Well, I think the zoning board really needed some membership at one point as well.
Yeah.
Sometime last year
Uh-huh.
or so, and I think now they have,
Yeah,
enough members. But it's really just to let residents know, these boards and committees exist and ways to become involved. And that's what the series of videos is gonna be. We tape them in the community TV studio over here, and they run no more than 10 minutes in length. And once they're all recorded, then they'll be released, I think, once a week for
On the local channels,
everywhere. But yeah,
everywhere,
yeah. Merrimack TV's everywhere now,
Oh,
so.
okay.
Merrimack TV isn't just cable. Finley's heard me say this probably 100 times now, but we're on Comcast channels 20, 21, 22, and HD channel 1071, and then also our website, merrimacktv.com, and you can watch Merrimack TV on streaming devices, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So we're everywhere, and these shows will be everywhere as well, and the Merrimack TV YouTube page as well.
It's wonderful.
Very good.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
yeah.
Just go to the Merrimack TV website, you go to live programming, you click on the one that's happening, it's right there on your phone, about 30-second delay.
Yeah.
I noticed
HD.
that the other night.
HD, it's pretty amazing. I can take my work home with me now. I can watch it. I come home and I put on the town council meeting on Thursday nights and have it
Yeah,
in the
you
background.
don't have to hang around here, right? Yeah, that's very good. Okay, I think that about covers the items on our agenda today. We should talk just a little bit about how we're gonna make this coverage. Do you wanna meet down there at noon, say, those who want to participate? And I'll bring some copies of this for everybody to hand out, and anybody who wants to come. I imagine it'll depend upon the day, on the weather, which is, and I'll be in communication with you about it beforehand, so that we'll see what the weather's like
Yeah.
and what the real prospect is.
Right now, it's probably a glacier field, because my entire sloping backyard, I don't think you can walk on any of it. It's just all ice.
Ooh, I thought the snow would be melted by now off of the,
If it's exposed to a lot of sun, it probably would be, but.
you know, that slope that they always sled on faces the sun.
So
It's
that-
beautiful
that
for
might be good,
sledding.
yes.
When there's snow.
Nelson, I will be attending on
Yeah.
the 26th, but I will likely not be there at noon exactly, so I'll just look for folks
Just look
roaming around.
for us, yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of like the idea, handing them out, to be
Yeah.
stationary.
Yeah.
And just bombard as many people as possible.
That's the idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then, I think we've talked about what we'll do to advance our plans. Well, there's some good things happening that Kyle is making happen for us, and maybe that'll keep our interest up in this committee. Maybe we can get some more plans in place,
Will be good.
get another element of sidewalk, yeah,
Yep, definitely.
okay. Anything else, anybody, I'll open for public comments and make note of the fact that the crowd today seems quiet and peaceful.
Well behaved.
So, does anybody want to bring anything up that think that we'd ought to be doing, we should be doing, we should have done?
Next meeting,
Next meeting, good point. When shall we meet again? When do we do we have anything, we don't have anything immediately scheduled to happen, like the town center committee. We should meet, I mean, like the, winter carnival. We have anything coming in the spring where, I don't know, do we want to support the farmer's market? We didn't do so well with that last year. Hasn't been too popular.
Yeah, that's actually being taken over by Parks and Rec. Matt Kaspari's,
Oh,
has
really?
some good ideas and so on.
Yeah,
So when we have a better idea, I think is when we can bring that here. Because I'm not sure exactly how the plan's
Yeah.
gonna roll out or anything.
yeah. Well, let's put it over till April then. We'll have a Friday in April. Does that make sense? And I wanted to ask you something else, Finley, but I want to get this settled. April, the Fridays are 1, 8, 15, 22, and 29. Middle of April, 15?
can't do 15.
No? How about-
15's the only one for me.
How about 22 April? It's Earth Day.
The last, I don't know when it's gonna be. At some point in April, we're probably heading down to Florida for a few days.
Oh.
I'm not sure when that's gonna be though, so
Hmm.
my kids are going down in April, in the week vacation, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Yeah.
Which we're not going for the whole week, I don't believe.
yeah. Okay, well, do you want to do the 8th of April then? We could move it up to earlier.
If that doesn't go for everybody else up, that'd probably be better for me.
All right, let's make it good for you. 8 April.
I feel special.
My
Right.
birthday is the day before, so if you guys wanna have a cake, let's do it.
All
There we
right.
go.
Justin's birthday is, I think his is the 8th.
There we
We'll
go.
find out. We'll say it's the 8th. We'll have a cake for Justin's
My
birthday.
sister's,
Whoa.
my sister's birthday is 8th of April. Okay. All right, we'll say April then, and we can,
Perfect.
if anything goes, if that goes okay. The thing I wanted to ask you about was what will happen with the community garden this year? Not that it affects this committee, but,
Well, I think, again, I'm not 100% positive, Matt. The agricultural committee was disbanded, and Matt had said that they were going to be happy to take it over and would be able to accommodate those things, so
oh, yeah.
I'll have to give you a better idea when I have a better idea.
Yeah, well, it's a little early to plant anyway, but although the Channel 9 News is bringing out the plants to say it's time to put your seeds in the ground, you know, for those who want to start from scratch. But,
Right, in your basement or someplace with a light, right, sure.
yeah, yeah,
That's it.
yep. Well, I have a nice sunroom.
Yeah, we are.
It works good, but I just remember to water the things. Okay, anything else anybody would like to discuss? Our next meeting's 8th of April. Let's have a vote to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Kyle and Kyle and seconded by Nicholas. All those in favor?
Yes.
All were in favor. Okay, we are adjourned. You can shut off your little blue light.